Your best friend just borrowed money from you. Again. Third time this month. You feel guilty even thinking about saying nitrogen monoxide. But here's what you don't know. That guilt is not yours. IT was planted there, like a seed. And right now, it's growing roots into your mind. Stop. Pause this video. Look at your phone. Scroll through your contacts. I want you to ask yourself one question. How many people in that list make you feel tired just seeing their name pop up? 1, 2, 5. If you said 0, you're lying to yourself. And that lie is going to cost you everything. Carl Jung, the man who mapped the human shadow, said something that should terrify you. Quote, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less IT is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser IT is." What does this mean? Simple. The people you refuse to see clearly become the people who destroy you silently. You think you're good at reading people. You think you can spot a liar, a fake, a user. You can't. None of us can. Because the most dangerous people don't they look dangerous. They look helpful. They look concerned. They look like they care about you. Nietzsche warned us about this. He said, "The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die." The people we're about to discuss, they wear your skin. They study you. They mirror you. And then they strike. This video will take 20 minutes of your time. But IT might save you 20 years of regret. We're going to identify 7 types of people who are currently sitting in your life, right now, drinking your coffee, reading your texts, knowing your secrets, and planning your downfall. Not because they hate you, but because that's just who they are. Machiavelli understood human nature without the filter of politeness. He wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." Read that again. You're not stupid. You're human. And humans want to believe the best in people. That belief is a door, and dangerous people know exactly how to walk through it. Before we start, I need you to understand something. This is not about becoming paranoid. This is not about trusting nitrogen monoxide 1. This is about pattern recognition. Greene teaches us that power comes from seeing what others refuse to see. Most people go through life blind. They ignore the signs. They make excuses. They say things like, "Everyone makes mistakes, or they're going through a tough time, or I'm probably overreacting." And while they're busy being understanding, they're being destroyed. Here's how this works. I'm going to describe 7 types. For each type, I'll give you the exact words they use, the specific behaviors you can measure, the psychological mechanism that makes them dangerous, and the one action you must take immediately. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. But here's the hard part. The part nobody talks about. When you start seeing these patterns, you're going to feel something uncomfortable. You're going to recognize people you love. People you've known for years. Family members. Close friends. Maybe even your partner. And you're going to want to close this video. You're going to want to make excuses for them. Don't Arthur Schopenhauer sighed, "We forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people." You've already lost 3/4. This video is about getting IT back. Here's what separates Minplicht from everything else you've watched. We don't sugarcoat. We don't give you feel-good advice. That sounds nice, but changes nothing. We give you the truth. The kind of truth that makes you uncomfortable. Because comfort is a slow death. Marcus Aurelius knew this. He wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Look around you. Most people are in toxic relationships and don't even know IT. Are you going to be like most people? I'm going to tell you something nobody else will. You already know who these people are. Deep down, in that quiet voice you keep ignoring. Jung called this your intuition. Your unconscious mind processing patterns faster than your conscious mind can defend against them. That weird feeling you get around certain people, that's not random. That's data. Your brain is screaming at you, and you keep telling it to be quiet, to be nice, to give people chances. How many chances have you given? 5, 10, 50. Here's a rule from game theory. When someone shows you who they are once, that's information. When they show you twice, that's a pattern. When they show you 3 times, that's their character. Stop waiting for the 4th time. The 4th time is when you lose everything. Let me be clear about what we're doing here. We're performing surgery on your social circle. This will hurt. Cutting out infected tissue always hurts. But you know what hurts more? Letting the infection spread until it kills the whole body. Your life is the body. These 7 types are the infection, and most people wait until they're on their deathbed to realize they spent their entire life sick. Sigmund Freud discovered that we repeat our traumas. We seek out the same type of people who hurt us before. WHY? Because it's familiar. Because our unconscious mind is trying to solve an old problem. But here's the thing. You can't solve it by repeating it. You solve it by seeing IT. By naming IT. By cutting IT out. The 7 types we're about to explore are not theories. They're based on thousands of years of human observation, from Machiavelli's political courts to Jung's therapy room to Robert Greene's study of power. These patterns repeat because human nature doesn't change. Technology changes, culture changes. But the core drives, fear, envy, control, validation, those are hardwired. So here's your choice. You can watch this video and do nothing. You can nod along, feel smart for 20 minutes, and then go right back to the same people who are draining you. Most people will do this. Or you can actually use what you're about to learn. You can look at your life with honest eyes. You can make the hard cuts. You can become dangerous in the right way. The way that protects you. We're about to start with type 1. But before we do, I want you to do something. Take out your phone. Open your Notes app. Create a new note. Title: IT the list. As we go through each type, I want you to write down names. Real names. Of real people in your life. Don't lie to yourself. Don't protect them. They're not protecting you. This list is private, just for you. But it needs to be real. Because awareness without action is just entertainment. And you didn't click on this video to be entertained. You clicked because something inside you knows you need this. Let's begin. Type 1. The favor banker. Listen carefully. Someone offers to help you. Move. You didn't ask. They just volunteered. They show up early. They work hard. They refuse payment. They say, don't worry about it. That's what friends do. You feel grateful. You should feel terrified. Machiavelli wrote something in The Prince that most people misunderstand. He said, men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries, but of more serious ones they cannot. The favor banker understands this instinctively. They don't crush you with one big demand. They bind you with 1,000 small debts. Here's how you recognize them. They give before you ask. They remember every favor. They bring up past, help in unrelated conversations. Listen for these exact phrases. After everything I did for you, I was there when nobody else was. Remember when I helped you with that thing? These phrases are not memories. They're invoices. And the bill is coming due. Jung talked about the shadow self. The parts of us we hide from the world. The favor banker has a shadow they're hiding from themselves. They don't see themselves as manipulators. Te genuinely believe they're generous. But watch what happens when you try to say no to them. Watch their face change. That's the shadow emerging. That's the real transaction revealing itself. Here's the psychological mechanism. It's called reciprocity. Robert Cialdini studied this for decades. When someone gives you something, your brain creates an obligation. It's automatic. IT's survival wiring from when we lived in tribes. If someone shared food with you, you had to share back or get expelled from the group. The favor banker weaponizes your biology against you. But there's something deeper happening, Nietzsche said. In Revenge and in Love, woman is more barbarous than man. He was wrong about the gender part, but right about the principle. The favor banker doesn't just want payback. They want ownership. Every favor is a collar. Every gift is a leash. They're building a cage around you so solely that you don't notice until you try to leave. I want you to think about someone right now. Someone who always offers help. Someone who gets offended when you try to pay them back. Someone who keeps a mental scorecard. Got someone in mind? Good. Now ask yourself this question. When was the last time they asked you for help and accepted nitrogen monoxide for an answer? Never, right? Because they don't ask. They guilt. They remind. They manipulate. Here's a test. The next time they offer something you didn't request, say this exact phrase. That's really kind, but I'd prefer to handle IT myself. Watch their reaction. A genuine person will say, okay, let me know if you change your mind. A favor banker will push. They'll insist. They'll make you feel bad for refusing. WHY, because your independence threatens their investment. They've been building credit with you, and you just tried to close the account. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Most people keep accepting favors they don't want because saying nitrogen monoxide feels rude. That's insane. You're trading your freedom for politeness. You're selling your autonomy to avoid a 5-second, uncomfortable conversation. Here's what you do immediately. If you have a favored banker in your life, stop accepting anything from them. Not coffee, not rides, not advice, nothing. If they've already done something, pay IT back immediately, in cash if possible. Make it explicit. Cancel the debt before it compounds. If they refuse payment, that's your answer. They don't want money. They want control. And here's the hard truth. If you cut them off, they will turn on you. They will tell everyone how ungrateful you are, how they were always there for you and you just used them. This is projection. They're describing themselves. Let them talk. The people who believe them are the same type. You're cleaning house. Write down the name. You know who it is. Type 2. The secret collector. You meet someone new. Within the first hour, they tell you something incredibly personal. A trauma. A fear. A secret shame. You're shocked by their openness. You feel honored. You feel trusted. You're being robbed. Sigmund Freud understood that we reveal ourselves for 2 reasons: to heal or to manipulate. The secret collector is not healing. They're creating an imbalance. They just showed you their cards. Now the social pressure demands you show yours. And the moment you do, you've lost the game. Here's the pattern. They overshare immediately. They ask probing questions disguised as concern. Are you okay? You seem stressed. What's really going on? They create artificial intimacy. An intimacy without time is a red flag. Real trust is built slowly. Fake trust is built in a single conversation. Carl Jung said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." The secret collector doesn't want transformation. They want ammunition. Every secret you tell them is a bullet they're storing. They might not use IT today, but they will use IT. Listen to how they talk about other people. Do they share secrets that aren't theirs? Do they tell you things about mutual friends that make you uncomfortable? Here's a law of human physics. If they gossip to you, they gossip about you. There are nitrogen monoxide exceptions to this rule. 0. I know what you're thinking, but they told me their secrets first. That means they trust me. Nitrogen monoxide. He means they're smart. Machiavelli taught that the clever ruler makes others reveal themselves. While remaining hidden, the secret collector operates on this principle. They sacrifice low-value information about themselves to extract high-value information about you. Think about what you've told them versus what they've told you. Their secrets are probably generic. Anxiety, depression, a bad relationship. Things that half the population experiences. But your secrets, those are specific. Those have names, dates, details. Those can destroy your reputation. Those can end your career. Those can break your family. Here's the test. Stop sharing. Next time they dump trauma on you, listen politely. Nod. Say, "That sounds difficult," but don't reciprocate. Don't match their energy. Stay surface level. Watch what happens. A genuine person will accept this. A secret collector will probe harder. Come on, you can tell me. I told you my stuff. What's really bothering you? That's not friendship. That's extraction. Plato wrote about the cave. People living in shadows, thinking the shadows are reality. The secret collector lives in the shadow of other people's lives. They don't have a real self. They're a collection of stolen stories. They define themselves by what they know about others. And you just gave them a piece of yourself to add to their collection. Here's your action. If you've already shared too much, you can't take it back. But you can stop feeding them. Gray rock 'em. Be boring. Give nothing new. And accept that this relationship will probably end. Because it was never a relationship. IT was a transaction. You were the product. Your privacy was the price. Write the name down. Type 3. The Crisis Addict. There's always something wrong. Always. Their car broke down. Their landlord is crazy. Their boss is toxic. Their ex is stalking them. Their health is failing. Every week, a new disaster. Every conversation, a new emergency. And somehow, you're always the one they call. At first, you feel needed, important. You're the hero in their story. You give advice. You offer solutions. You even give money. But here's what you don't see. They never take your advice. The solutions you offer always have a reason why they won't work. The money you give never fixes the problem. Because they don't want the problem fixed. They want the attention the problem gives them. Arthur Schopenhauer said, "We forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people." The crisis addict has forfeited all of themselves. They have nitrogen monoxide, identity outside of their suffering. Take away their crises, and they have nothing to talk about. Nitrogen monoxide personality. Nitrogen monoxide substance. Just an empty space where a person should be. Here's the psychological mechanism. It's called learned helplessness. Martin Seligman studied this. When people experience repeated negative outcomes, they stop trying to change them. But the crisis addict takes IT further. They create the negative outcomes unconsciously because chaos is familiar. Peace is terrifying. They sabotage themselves and then ask you to clean up the mess. Jung called this the victim archetype. IT is a role people play to avoid responsibility. I can't change my life because of this thing that happened to me, because of this person who hurt me, because of this system that's against me. And there's always some truth in it. Life is hard. People do get hurt. Systems are unfair. But the crisis addict uses these truths as a shield against growth. Listen to their language. Why does this always happen to me? I have the worst luck. Nothing ever works out for me. These phrases reveal their worldview, see themselves as victims of fate, not as agents with choice. Epictetus taught that we don't control what happens to you, but we control how we respond. The crisis addict refuses this teaching. They want the happening and the response to both be someone else's problem. Here's how you know the difference between someone having a hard time and a crisis addict. Offer them a real solution. Not sympathy, not validation. A concrete, actionable plan. Here's the number for a therapist who takes your insurance. Here's a budget template. Here's a job listing. Watch their reaction. A person who wants help will say thank you. They'll take action. They might fail, but they'll try. A crisis addict will explain why it won't work. The therapist won't understand them. The budget is too restrictive. The job isn't right for them. They have an answer for everything, except I'll try. Because trying means they might succeed, and success means they lose their identity. Nietzsche warned us about this. He said, "Be careful when you fight the monsters, lest you become one." The crisis addict has been fighting their monsters so long they've become attached to them. The monsters are pets now. Familiar, comfortable, and you're expected to help feed them. Here's what makes them dangerous. They drain everything. Your time, your energy, your money, your peace of mind. You go to bed, thinking about their problems. You wake up checking if they texted. Your life becomes a support system for their chaos, and they will take everything you give and ask for more, because there's nitrogen monoxide bottom to their need. Robert Greene teaches that you should judge people by their actions, not their intentions. The crisis addict has great intentions. They always plan to change. They always mean to do better. They always appreciate your help. But their actions, the same cycle, different crises, same pattern. And patterns don't lie. I want you to think about someone right now. Someone who always has a problem. Someone who's been in crisis mode for months, years. Someone whose life never improves despite all the help they receive. Ask yourself this question. What would happen if you stopped helping? Would they find someone else to help them? Or would they actually be forced to change? Here's the brutal truth. By helping them, you're hurting them. You're enabling the pattern. You're the safety net that allows them to keep jumping off buildings, Marcus Aurelius sideways, nitrogen monoxide. More time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. A good person doesn't enable destruction, even when destruction comes with tears and apologies. Here's your test. The next time they come to you with a crisis, try this. That sounds really hard. What's your plan to fix IT? Not what can I do to help? Not let me handle IT. What's your plan? Watch them scramble. They don't have a plan. They have you. If they push back, if they say, I thought you were my friend. Here's your response. I am your friend. That's why I believe you can handle this yourself. A crisis addict will hear this as rejection, because they've confused friendship with servitude. They think caring means doing everything for them. IT doesn't. Hobbes said life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. The crisis addict proves him right. They make your life poor by taking your resources, nasty by creating constant drama, brutish by demanding emotional labor, short by stealing your time. And if you let them, they'll make IT solitary too, because eventually everyone else will leave to protect themselves. Here's what you do. Stop solving their problems. Stop offering money. Stop being available for every crisis. Set a boundary. I care about you, but I can't be your emergency contact anymore. You need professional help, not a friend who enables you. They will cry. They will guilt you. They will tell you that you're abandoning them in their darkest hour. Let them. Their darkest hour has lasted 5 years. That's not an hour. That's a lifestyle choice. And here's the hardest part. When you step back, they will find someone else, some new person to dump their chaos on. And you'll feel guilty. Like maybe you should have stayed. Like maybe you were the problem. You weren't. You were the solution they refused to take. And refusing to take the solution is a choice. Write the name down. You know exactly who this is. Type 4. The mirror with nitrogen monoxide face. You love the same music. You hate the same people. You laugh at the same jokes. You finish each other's sentences. You've found your soulmate, your best friend, your perfect match. Except you haven't. You found a parasite who studied you like a textbook and is now wearing your personality like a costume. This is the most dangerous type, because they feel like home. They feel like the one person who truly gets you. Carl Jung warned about this. He called IT projection. We see in others what we want to see. We project our ideal onto them. And the mirror with nitrogen monoxide face knows this. They become your projection, your perfect reflection. While you're staring at yourself in them, they're emptying your pockets. Here's how they operate. They've nitrogen monoxide. Strong opinions, until you express yours. They agree with everything you say. They adopt your hobbies. They start dressing like you, using your phrases, listening to your music. At first, it's flattering. Finally, someone on your wavelength. But look closer. They don't have a wavelength. They're just tuning into yours. Machiavelli understood this type well. He wrote about courtiers who would mirror the prince to gain favor. They had nitrogen monoxide beliefs of their own. Nitrogen monoxide loyalty beyond their own survival. They would agree with you today and agree with your enemy tomorrow. Whoever held power held their allegiance. The mirror with nitrogen monoxide face operates the same way. Here's the test. It's simple but devastating. State an opinion. A strong one. Something you actually believe. Watch them agree enthusiastically. Good. Now, a week later, casually contradict yourself. Say the opposite. Watch them again. If they agree with the new position without missing a beat, without even acknowledging the contradiction, you've found your mirror. And mirrors don't have spines. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. The mirror with nitrogen monoxide face will never know this privilege. They don't know who they are. They're a blank screen that projects whatever the person in front of them wants to see. They're not evil. They're empty. And empty people are dangerous because they'll fill themselves with anyone's agenda if IT serves them. Think about your conversations with them. Do they ever disagree with you? Do they ever challenge you? Do they ever have a strong stance that conflicts with yours? If the answer is nitrogen monoxide, you don't have a friend. You have a yes. And yes men are only loyal until someone more powerful enters the room. Robert Greene teaches about the dangers of false friends in the 48 Laws of Power. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. The mirror with nitrogen monoxide face might not be consciously spying, but their emptiness makes them unreliable. Today they mirror you. Tomorrow they mirror your competitor, your enemy, your replacement. They have nitrogen monoxide core, nitrogen monoxide center. They drift whoever gives them identity. Here's what makes them truly dangerous. You trust them with everything, because they seem to understand you perfectly. How could they not? They're exactly like you. So you tell them your plans, your ideas, your strategies, and then, months later, you watch someone else execute your exact plan. The mirror shared IT, not maliciously. They just don't understand ownership. They thought your idea was their idea because they have nitrogen monoxide ideas of their own. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." The mirror with nitrogen monoxide face has nitrogen monoxide why. They borrow yours. They live through you. Feed off your purpose, your passion, your energy. And when you're drained, when you have nothing left to give, they move on to the next strong personality, the next person with a clear sense of self, and they'll become that person completely, just like they became you. I need you to understand something crucial. This person is not pretending to like you. They actually do like you, in their way. But their way is absorption. They don't want to be your friend. They want to be you. And two people can't be you. So eventually, they'll either try to replace you in your own life, or they'll discard you when they've extracted everything useful. Here's a pattern to watch. Do they have any long-term friends? Anyone who's known them for 5, 10 years? Probably not. Because eventually, everyone sees through the mirror. Everyone realizes there's nothing behind the reflection. And when you realize this, IT's unsettling. Like talking to an AI that's very good, but not quite human. Something's off. Something's missing. Arthur Schuck wrote, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. The mirror with nitrogen monoxide face is never alone. They can't be alone. They dissolve. They need someone to reflect or they cease to exist in any meaningful way. This is WHY. They're so clingy, so available, so eager to spend time with you. Not because they value you, because they need you to tell them who to be today. Here's your action step. Create distance. Not cruelty. Distance. Start saying nitrogen monoxide to hangouts. Be less. Available, share less. About yourself. Watch what happens. A real friend will respect your space. The mirror will panic. They'll reach out more. Text more. Try harder. You're pulling away the thing they use to define themselves. You're removing their mirror and forcing them to see their own empty face. Jordan Peterson talks about the importance of developing your own values, your own code, your own structure. The mirror with nitrogen monoxide face has none of these. They're a philosophical zombie. They look conscious. They act conscious. But there's nitrogen monoxide one home, and you can't build anything real with someone who isn't real. Here's the hardest truth. They might be copying you right now. Your style, your ideas, your personality, and part of you likes it. Part of you enjoys being admired that much. That's your ego. And your ego is making you vulnerable. Because while you're enjoying the flattery of imitation, they're learning everything about you. Your weaknesses, your fears, your patterns, and they're storing it all. Plato wrote about the forms, the perfect ideal versions of things. You are the form. The mirror is the cheap copy, the shadow on the cave wall. And if you're not careful, people will start confusing the copy for the original. They'll think the mirror's ideas are actually yours. Oh, or worse, they'll think your ideas are copies of the mirror's, because the mirror is louder, more public, more shameless about taking credit. Write down the name. And this time, it might hurt. Because this one probably feels close. They probably feel safe. That's the point. The most dangerous predator is the one you invite into your home. Type 5. The invisible enemy. Your friend betrayed you, lied about you, spread rumors, and there's this other person, this mutual friend, and you go to them for support. You expect them to be angry on your behalf, to take your side, to defend you. Instead, they say something like this: I don't want to get involved. I see both sides. I think you both made mistakes. I'm staying neutral. And you think, okay, they're being mature, diplomatic, fair. No, they're being cowardly, and cowardice is not neutral. It's a choice, and that choice is against you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, halos, and surly. He didn't write some people might be neutral, because neutrality in the face of wrong is not a virtue, it's a surrender. The invisible enemy is dangerous because they seem harmless. They're not attacking you. They're not defending your attacker. They're just neutral territory. But here's what they're actually doing. By refusing to acknowledge that one person was wrong, they're legitimizing the wrongdoing. They're saying your pain is debatable. Your experience is just your side of the story. Machiavelli had sharp words for neutral parties. He wrote, irresolute princes to avoid present dangers generally follow the neutral path and are generally ruined. WHY, because neutrality is not safety, it's vulnerability. The person who won't stand for anything falls for everything. And they'll watch you fall too. Here's the mechanism. The invisible enemy wants to be liked by everyone. They want access to all social circles. They want to keep their options open. So they never commit, never take a side, never risk their comfort for your protection. They're not your friend. They're their own friend, and you're just someone they know. Think about a time you needed them, really needed them, to speak up, to confirm the truth, to have your back. Did they, or did they suddenly become very busy, very tired? I don't know the full story. That's not accident. That's strategy. They're preserving their social capital while you're being destroyed. Epictetus Tuge. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The invisible enemy can't do this because they don't know what they would be. They're shapeless, formless. They adapt to whoever's in the room. They agree with your enemy when you're not there. They nod sympathetically with you when you are. They're everyone's friend and nitrogen monoxide one's ally. Here's your test. Tell them you need them to choose. This person hurt me. I need to know if you're going to continue being close with them. A real friend will make a choice. Even if it's hard, the invisible enemy will get defensive. Why are you making me choose? Why are you being so dramatic? Can't we all just get along? These are the words of someone who values their comfort over your safety. Write the name and prepare to lose them, because they were never really there. Type 6. The poison giver. They're so honest. Brutally honest. They tell it like it is. They don't sugarcoat. They give you the hard truth. And you appreciate it because everyone else lies to you. Everyone else is fake. But this person, they care enough to be real. Except they don't care. They just enjoy hurting you. Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The poison giver irritates you constantly, and they frame it as help. I'm only telling you this because I care. Someone needs to be honest with you. I'm doing this for your own good. These phrases are not care. They're cruelty wearing a care costume. Here's how you recognize them. Their honesty only points out flaws, never strengths. They mention your weight, your failures, your mistakes, always under the guise of concern. Have you gained weight? I'm just worried about your health. Your business idea probably won't work. I just don't want you to be disappointed. Your partner could do better. I just think you deserve to know. Nietzsche wrote that. Which does not kill us, makes us stronger. The poison giver misunderstands this completely. They think breaking you down builds you up. IT doesn't. IT just breaks you down. There's a difference between constructive criticism and destruction. Constructive criticism offers a path forward. Destruction just points out the ruble. Here's the psychological mechanism. They feel small, insignificant, powerless, and the fastest way to feel big is to make someone else feel small. Every time they point out your flaw, they elevate themselves. They become the judge, the authority, the one who sees clearly while you stumble in darkness. I tease. A power move disguised as friendship. Robert Greene warns about this in The Laws of Human Nature. Some people are toxic, not because they intend to harm, but because their pain leaks out onto everyone around them. The poison giver is in pain. Deep, old pain. And instead of healing IT, they spread IT. Like a disease. They infect you with their misery by constantly highlighting everything wrong with your life. Think about how you feel after talking to them. Energized, motivated.
Confident?
No. You feel deflated, criticized, not good enough. That's not accident. That's their function. They're emotional vampires. They feed on your dimming light. Every time they make you doubt yourself, they feel a little better about their own failures. Here's the test. Next time they offer their brutal honesty, say these. I didn't ask for your opinion. Watch their reaction. A person who genuinely cares will apologize. They'll back off. The poison giver will get angry. I'm just trying to help you. Fine, I'll never tell you the truth again. See if I care when you fail. That anger, that's the mask slipping. That's the truth about THEIR. Help Marcus Aurelius taught us. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Don't become like the poison giver. Don't start criticizing them back. Don't engage in their game. Just remove them. Cut the cord. Stop drinking the poison just because it's served in a friendship cup. Here's what you do. Stop sharing vulnerable information with them. Stop asking their opinion. Stop giving them ammunition. When they offer unsolicited criticism, respond with one word. Noted. Nothing more. Don't defend yourself. Don't explain. Just noted. This removes their power. They can't engage. They can't escalate. And eventually, they'll move on to someone who still reacts. Write the name. And notice how much lighter you feel. It's thinking about not hearing their voice in your head anymore. Type 7. The ghost who needs you. This is the final type. And it might be the most painful to recognize. Because this person isn't obviously toxic. They're not mean. They're not manipulative. They're just absent until they need something. You don't hear from them for weeks, months. They don't respond to your messages. They're always busy, always tired, always meaning to reach out. But then, suddenly, they call, they text, they want to meet up, and you're happy. Finally, they made time for you, until you realize they need a favor. They need advice. They need emotional support. They need something from you. Plato wrote about the allegory of the cave. People chained, seeing only shadows. Thinking shadows are reality. The ghost who needs you keeps you chained to hope. The hope that next time, they'll want you just to want you. Not to use you, but that time never comes. Because in their mind, you're not a person. You're a resource. A tool they pick up when needed and put down. When done, here's the pattern. Track your conversations. Who initiates? Who keeps the conversation going? When do they appear and when do they disappear? If they only show up when they need something and vanish when they don't, you're not their friend. You're their emergency contact, their backup plan, their safety net. Sigmund Freud understood that we repeat what we don't repair. You keep answering their calls because you hope this time will be different. This time they'll stay. This time they'll reciprocate. But hope without evidence is delusion. And the evidence is clear. They've shown you exactly who they are hundreds of times. Believe them. Jordan Peterson teaches about reciprocal relationships. Both people invest. Both people initiate. Both people care. The ghost who needs you doesn't invest. They withdraw. And you're left doing all the work. Maintaining the relationship alone. That's not a relationship. That's a job. You're not getting paid for. Here's your final test. Stop reaching out. Completely. See how long IT takes. Them to notice. See if they ever reach out, just to check in. Just to say hi. Just to see how you're doing. If they don't, you have your answer. You were never a priority. You were an option. Arthur Schopenhauer said, "We can come to look upon the deaths of our enemies with as much regret as we feel for those of our friends. Namely, when we miss their existence as witnesses to our success. To ghost-toi, need you is not your enemy. But they're not your friend either. They're nothing. And nothing deserves nothing from you. Stop being available. Stop being the one who cares more. Stop watering dead plants, hoping they'll bloom. Some things are meant to die. Let them write the name down. Now look at your list. All 7 names. Maybe it's 7 different people. Maybe it's 3 people who fit multiple types. Maybe it's 1 person who is all 7. Whatever IT is, you see IT now. You can't unsee IT. Here's what happens next. You feel guilt. You think maybe you're being too harsh. Maybe they're not that bad. Maybe you're overreacting. This is your empathy being weaponized against you. Stop IT. Trust the pattern. Trust the data. Trust your exhaustion. Machiavelli's final lesson. IT is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. In modern terms, IT is better to be alone than surrounded by people who drain you. It is better to have 2 real friends than 20 fake ones. IT is better to be selective than sorry. You have a list. Now you have a choice. Do nothing and stay trapped. Or do something and get free. Surgery is complete. The infection is identified. Now cut eye. This is Minplicked. We show you what others are too afraid to say. If this opened your eyes, subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to see IT. And if you want to go deeper, if you want the strategies they don't let us share publicly, check the description. Your life is yours. Stop giving IT away to people who don't deserve it. The scalpel is in your hand. Use IT.